Now I have some chicken breast here with skin and bone, a little cartilage. Already previously cut it up. Save a little time in these videos, not being so long. But a little bone in, not a lot, but still bone in and skin and fat. So now, I'm going to go back to these chicken wings here. If you feed it like this to your puppy, it's this simple when they're bigger dogs. You don't got to be doing all this cutting up in pieces. But at first, a puppy may drag this around for 30 minutes. Don't feed in your house. So many do. Feed your puppy outside. It'll eat better outside, and they naturally want to carry the food around. They'll go lay down in their favorite place they want to eat and eat it. But we'll show you. All you got to do to make it not carried around as much, just cut it right in the little joints with your shears. Just cut them up in little pieces. That's just a little small bone in there. You don't got to be worried about small bone. Small bone don't cut a dog up. Cooked bones cut dogs up, not small bones. A small cooked bone, yes, but again, that's a cooked bone. You can just handle them like this, just quite little pieces now, very small, little sections. You can debone all that, but really not much point in doing that. So, now let's run through 10 meals here. In these videos, we've made 10 meals, so simple. We got our chicken leg meal right here with our 3 leg bones. This would be a bone-in meal if I literally fed 1 bone and kept these bones away. That's bone-in, but it took the meat off of 3 little chicken legs to make the 12-ounce meal. So now I put all 3, feed the meat, then feed these bones. That's a bone-in meal. We got boneless turkey right here with the tendons left long. We got chicken thigh meal right here. There was only 2 thighs to make the meal. 2 thigh bones are back in it. Again, I could drop 1 thigh in and 1 thigh bone back in and say, well, that's a bone-in meal, and it technically is, but that's more meat than 1 thigh gave me. So 2 thighs, 2 thigh bones. Then we have our boneless pork, Boston pork butt, deboned. I never feed pork or beef bones, boneless pork. Now we have our chicken wings. And now I've taken and cut them in little small sections for a pup first at the home. Then we have beef, pot roast beef right here, all cut up in little bite-sized pieces. Then we have our white meat chicken with skin and bone and cartilage. Not a lot of bone, but there's some bone. Then we have our fish meal. We have sardines, mackerel, and salmon in our 12 ounces of fish. Then we have chicken necks. We have a meal of chicken necks, and those have a decent amount of bone in. Then we're down to that 10th meal, all organ meat. Nothing but organ meat in our 10th meal. And it's that simple. Now, next time, when you're feeding, you can feed, instead of the pork butt, feed pork loin. When you're feeding, instead of this much chicken, you're going to have to do maybe another meal of turkey over here, but debone some chicken. Hopefully you like chicken when the pup is young and small. Can't eat the big turkey drum bone. It can eat a turkey thigh bone normally. You'll have to debone some chicken and give some chicken bones in with your turkey meal. So you have not just chicken all the time. I had this chicken, so I went with this chicken and this. You can feed rabbit, bone in for a meal, pheasant, quail. There's several small animals you can get. Again, Asian food market, good place to get several varieties of meat, especially the organ meat. But it's really as simple as this: a bone-in meal, a boneless meal, a bone-in meal, a boneless meal, a bone-in meal, a boneless meal, bone-in, boneless, bone-in, boneless. It's honestly all you have to do. Or again, you can calculate. Cut the meat off the bone, weigh the meat, weigh the bone, do the math. Average, on average throughout the week, around 15-20% bone in on an average. Not every meal. One meal can be like this meal. That meal's around 33% bone in. The chicken leg, the chicken thighs around 10% bone in. So the chicken necks are probably 50% bone in. It's just back and forth, and it will actually work out pretty much dead on perfect. As perfect as it has to be, simply by doing bone in, boneless, back and forth. Now you bag and tag all these, throw them in the freezer, in a freezer Ziploc bag or Tupperware container of your choosing, and you will see it's the easiest thing to work up several meals. I can make up all these meals in under 10 minutes if I'm just making the meals up. 1 minute a meal is about all it takes. As your dog gets bigger, older, you simply hand the turkey drum to the dog. It eats it. Hand the chicken drum, the chicken leg quarter, the big chunk of pork, or you can cut it up in like 2-ounce pieces for a grown dog. My dogs get very big very quick, a little too quick. So in no time at all, they can eat big old bites of it or chew it off themselves. More messier when they chew it off themselves. Big chunks, they will drag it around. So when you feed inside the house, they're going to drag it around. You're going to be sanitizing for 30 minutes after each meal. Just simply go outside, feed your pup. Your pup will eat its meal normally, easily in under 1 minute. Even bone in, maybe 5 minutes at the most, and you're done. Sanitize your dishes, what you've used, you're done. If you pre-make all these meals up, all you have is a little food dish that you have to sanitize afterwards. But it's just that simple. Go back and forth with variety. Don't keep using the same meats. I do have a lot of chicken right here. Don't use chicken all the time, just a bunch of chicken. You got to be using different parts. I wish I had some little quail today, but around here, we can't just get quail. But if you're up in New England, had a family bring me down some little quail at one of my meetups, and pretty neat, little bitty small quail, very expensive, but maybe you feed a meal of quail once a month, or maybe you put 2 little, quail on a meal here and there once every 2 weeks. That's still good. They're getting a little amount of quail here and there. Same thing with pheasant or any other meat. Use as wide a variety of meat as you can possibly use. Your dog will get tired of eating chicken. Your dog will get tired of eating turkey. But as your puppy becomes a grown dog, he can eat big old giant turkey necks that are huge if you buy them like I do in bulk. They're really big. Takes 7-8 month old to normally be able to crunch the bone in a large turkey neck. But 1 meal is turkey neck. 1 meal is turkey drums a few days later. Turkey wings over here a few days later. Each time you're coming back to turkey, it's a different turkey part. Chicken, it's a different chicken part. And it just works that simple. You can use a lot of the same main parts. We're really partial to these big old turkey drums. We feed lots of turkey drums. That dark muscle meat on there is so good, the tendons, ligaments in them. Make sure you feed lots of muscle meat. Don't get into cheap parts to save money. Don't get into buying just a bunch of fat trimmings from a butcher shop somewhere. That's good for them. They need the fat. What is on there already, leave it. Pork will have a decent amount of fat. Leave it. Don't go cutting the fat off of it. Oh, he don't need that fat. He needs the fat. In the book I referenced to earlier, have that on our website, on the What We Feed page, you will learn the difference in plant-based fat versus animal fat. Preferably to go with animal fat, not plant-based fat. But you will, when reading the book, you'll acquire a lot more knowledge about why to feed raw, some on how, but more knowledge about meats and fats and what meats for what. You will be smarter about the raw by reading the book. So definitely get the raw feeding book. Thank you a bunch, and hope you've seen just how simple some of this really is. I keep playing around with the meat here. It's like, but yeah, we mess with lots of meat, but it's just so simple to do, and hopefully you see just how simple the raw really is. Nothing hard about it. People overthink it, think it's so difficult to do. And I tell you, your existing dog, if you already have one, it'll be so thankful you're feeding the raw meat and bone. It's what it was created to eat, not kibble. Kibble was created for dog. Dog was not created for kibble. Just think about that. Look at your dog's teeth, and you'll see those canines. That's not for kibble. That's for what we have right here. Meat and bone. Meat and bone's what they love. They will thrive on the meat and bone. Look forward to the next video. Thank you much.